Good morning, YouTube. We're in Hermosillo. We're flying to Guaymas using the Cessna 172 SP and the G1000 this morning. I wasn't able to get very much information regarding the airport that we're going to. I've got Waypoint information. I'm going to see whether or not we can do an RNAV landing. I'm not sure at this point whether or not I'll need to do a visual approach and landing, but it doesn't matter. We'll get there. We got clear skies. We won't have to worry about probably won't have to worry about winds too much, but we certainly have clear skies, so we won't have to worry about clouds or anything like that. All right. 112.1 to Guaymas. So we'll put that in our nav radio. That's a heading bug. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning for me. I woke up, I couldn't sleep. At 112.1, that probably won't pick up until we're into the air. But we'll go ahead and get the distance measuring equipment going there for that. And this one's set for GPS. This is going to be MMGM. General Jose Maria Van. And that, I don't really know if that's right or not. Let me look over here real quick. I was trying to look up information online for this airport and I was having the hardest time. That does look correct. Like I was trying to find ATIS and all that. I wasn't able to find it. I only spent a couple of minutes. Again, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, so I didn't really look extremely hard. But I did look and wasn't getting anywhere with it. So I figure we'll fly without ATIS since we have clear skies. And I don't even know if there's an RNAV. Yeah, see, there's no RNAV approach or anything available to us. So we'll clear that. And we'll just do a direct to MMGM. And we'll also use the waypoint as guidance, and then I'll just do a visual approach and landing. And I haven't put my headset on yet, so excuse me 1 second. Transponder fail. Ooh, let's resize that. Actually, let's get the airport. Well, I can't even tell where I'm at. Hang on. So I'm right here. Alright, well, we'll just taxi around a little bit till I figure out where I am. Looking good. What am I on, a helipad? I certainly am. Alright, so I am going to try to rotate left here since there's nothing there. And I have yet to understand where I need to taxi. Let me study this. So it looks like I need to go behind me, and then I can possibly use this small little area here to taxi, like that. So I'll try to do that. So I'm going to give it a little break. Try to get this thing to turn to the right. Alright. And that doesn't look like much space right there to actually taxi on, but that's where I'm trying to go. Yeah. So where am I? Where do they put me at? With the helicopters. I cheated a little bit and cut over the dirt. Instead of going on that small narrow portion there, I cut over the dirt onto this part so I could taxi in this. Military. Alright, I've extended the flaps, getting ready for takeoff. If I were flying with the GTN 750, there's some potential that I could get the ATIS information for the airport because it would be within the database for the game. But I don't think I could get that information for the G1000 from within the game. If I can, I'm not familiar with how. And I can mess with that when we're in the air, look around a bit. Have a look at the flag. It's doing nothing, just sitting there looking pretty. Feel it lifting off. I'm about to rotate. Got a good steady rate of climb. Engaging the autopilot. I'll start with 5,000 feet. I don't really have anything planned as far as altitude, so I'll just kind of wing it. Landing and taxi off. Alright, we're about 67 miles away from the airport, MMGM. So maybe within 10 miles we'll have the DME for the waypoint there. And this is correct, 66.0 miles. Winds are negligible. I'm going to adjust the mixture, see if I can give us a little extra power. You can see on the RPMs we went from 2330 to 2370. Once it goes back to 30, I'm going to push it forward a little bit to maintain 2370, and that's the sweet spot. We're at 3005. Still a good positive rate, just under 75 knots. I'll probably leave it at this rate of climb even if we drop off a few knots. It won't take us long to get to 5. Coffee cup, I tell you. So we're 1,000 below 5. That's what that chime means. And we have picked up the VOR. And for the most part, that should match up with what the GPS says. One is pointing directly to the airport, the other is pointing directly to the waypoint, and they're situated relatively closely. So we could potentially switch this. No, CDI. It's a VOR1, but I need to know the bearing. The bearing is 165 degrees. And we can adjust the course. Alright, we're leveling out at 5,000 feet. And from here, I'll look at the RPMs just to make sure we stay out of the red. We're really moving along, so I'll probably try to keep it around 2,500 RPMs. I backed off the throttle quite a bit, and it's still increasing in RPMs. Alright, let me try that right there. Might be just under 120 knots. It's 2,600 RPMs. So our course. So I said 165. That says 175. There we are. And well, that's good enough. So long as that matches up and we're riding that line as though we were flying the GPS, we're good. One way of telling is whether or not both of these numbers are decrementing and that we're getting closer. We'll set the heading to 165. So once we're within 10 miles, we should be able to see the airport. And from what I can tell, there is no other airport around. We'll be roughly around the coast. Let's get a 50-mile range at least, maybe 100. So these are still a little yellow, so when we get close to it, I'll just make sure it looks okay. This looks like something we might hit. This would probably just be close to it, but I'll still watch it. So as you can see, we're not actually using the CDI to go direct GPS. We're using VOR1, which is why that's green, and it says VOR1. But we're pretty much flying parallel to the GPS course. So we can use that as a secondary or as guidance to ensure we don't really need that. I could delete the flight plan. In fact, I think just for the sake of this, let's do clear here and then menu. Well, maybe I need to do it from over there. You get more options on this side sometimes. So we'll delete the flight plan, and it makes it a little more little more real, because now we are relying on just the VOR in order to get there. We don't have anything, a line or anything that says, hey, this is where you're heading, this is where you need to go. We've got to trust our VOR instrument that it's going to take us there, and it will. It'll get us there. I have no doubt I'll get there. What's interesting to me is, despite the fact that I deleted the flight plan, it still has the information here for the GPS to MMGM rather. Like if I pull this up, there's nothing in here. And there should be nothing over here. But yet it's still in the memory. I wonder if I make it go away. Well, now it says, oh, let's click on it. Yeah, it's still there. Wow, okay. This one actually tells us the name of the waypoint. Jim, let me just verify that on SkyVector. Yes, GYM. So that's kind of redundant information, because we already have we have the nav1 radio and the distance, and then we have the distance again, and then we just have nav1 and the waypoint name, so not anything we really need. So there's an aircraft here around these mountains. So we should be able to see it. I don't see it. Plus 20. Unless it's just really high in the atmosphere. I don't know if plus 20 means 2,000 feet or 20,000 feet. All I know is I don't see it. It should be right out here. Looks like it's on the back side. That might be why we don't see it. What's it say? Plus 15 now? 9. Maybe it's Airwolf. Alright, we can see our airport now in the multifunction display. Looks like that aircraft that's in front of us is heading directly to the airport that we're heading to as well. I still don't see him. Only on the GPS. In just a few minutes, I'm going to start descending to about 3,000 feet. What I can do here is, instead of using the vertical speed, I can just back off on the throttle and we'll begin the descent. Oh no, I need to do flight level change. Let me get the speed back up here. Flight level change, and then back off on the throttle. I usually use the vertical speed. I just figured I'd be different this morning. We're at 1,000. One more 1,000 to 3,000. I'm also watching the primary inset map and the multifunction display, looking for any red or yellow that I think might be something I'll have to worry about coming up here. If I need to climb in altitude to get over it, I will, but I hope I won't have to. $400 more feet to go. I'm really watching this this spot right here, and I'm ready to hit the altitude button, the altitude hold, in the event it goes yellow on me. Looks like we're going to be flying right by it anyway, so it won't be a problem, and we're leveling off at 3,000 right now, so we're good. Yeah, we're good all the way. Alright, give it some more power, get us back up to about 2,600 RPMs. See if that gets us there. If I see a surpass, I'll pull back on the throttle just a tad. There we are. Alright, looking good. Looks like we have another 17 or so nautical miles. I can see the mountains ahead of me. I don't see the water yet. The coast. But maybe within 10 miles. That's probably the airport. Those are two big poles. Interesting. A few buildings here. I think I'll descend to about 2,000 feet. So my intent is, in thinking that the airport is here, is to fly over in this direction a little bit and then come in for a landing. That's how I'm anticipating that the runway is set up. I could be wrong. I should probably wait till I get a better visual on it before doing that, so I may do that. But as I look at it, it looks like I just need to come over here a little bit, and then just basically, just like I said, come over here a little bit, and then right in there. So with that, I think I'm going to set my heading bug to 150. 145, 14, somewhere in there. Go ahead and turn the landing and taxi lights on. Looks like I am seeing some water here. Probably this area right here, since we're flying right towards it, and then that would be the coast out there. Yeah, we can see coast now. Just a couple more minutes out this way, and then I'll turn in towards the runway. I should probably zoom in and have a look at it, but I'm just going to trust what I see on the GPS. I'll go ahead and disengage the autopilot. Start heading us towards the runway. Right there. Of course, it would be behind the compass. Give it a little more power to kind of hold 60 knots. Yeah, I'm a little high according to Pappy there, but we're coming in good. A little more power. Looks like we got a little bit of a tailwind, but it says 0, so I don't feel it anyways. retracting the flaps. Getting ready to exit left here. Park next to that Jet Ranger. I do wish they still had those aircrafts, those helicopters. In the older version you could fly a Jet Ranger, but need to set the brakes, kill the power. I fully raised the flaps? I think so. They're up. That wasn't a bad landing. I don't know if I was spot on as far as wheel on the line or not, but we'll see. Close, not quite. There we are, folks. We're at MMGM, flying Waypoint to the destination. Just a single waypoint, but a waypoint. And using the VOR navigation. And thank you for joining me in this flight this morning. Hope you have a good day. I'll see you next time.